Good. Hello, Abraham. I just wanted to say thank you. And I wanted to talk a little about focus. I found that... I have to catch my breath. Hold on. I found that in the last 6 months or so, my life's pretty changed from your teachings, which I've really enjoyed. But I found that I fishtail a lot. I'll find two things that really appeal to me at a crossroads, and I want to choose the right one.
Well, if they both feel good, they are both right.
Right, but I feel like I can't do them both at the same time because of timing or something.
Well, it doesn't matter. You can't eat all the food at the same time either.
That's true. Is there a way I can simplify the process so I don't struggle with trying to pick? I find myself struggling with which one to choose first. Is there a process or some way you can tell me to do that better?
You can choose one in your mind mentally and do your best from where you stand to sort of play it out and think about it for a little while. In other words, don't take action today. Take one of the choices and play it out in your mind for a day or two, and then take the other choice and play it out in your mind for a day or two, and then you'll be able to feel which one is the most compelling. When it feels like, when you're at a place where you're saying, I can't tell which is the best choice because they both feel so good, we say, not a problem there, just pick one. When you say,
flip a coin.
When you say, it's as good as anything. When you say, I can't figure out which is the worst choice, we say, don't take either one of them. Stand by and do your best to clean up your vibration until something appealing shows up.
Okay.
But we like the word that you are presenting here, the word focus, and we want to add something to it that you may not be considering, because sometimes in your attempt to be a deliberate creator, you get fixated on the idea of focusing, and when your feeling is about something not going well and you apply focus to it, it just makes it worse. So we want to consider, and you're going to have to feel your way to this more than you can think your way to this. Can you feel a difference between focusing thought and focusing feeling?
Yes.
It's really worth thinking about. Focusing thought. Now,
and it is something I've struggled with.
Technically, when you think a thought, you have a feeling response to the thought. So focus really should only be appropriately applied to thought because you focus thought, you think thought. But the reason we put the word focus around the idea of feeling is because when you're focused upon how you want to feel, now you have a more gentle approach to controlling your thought. And you can go a long way. It's just a leveraging tool. For example, give us a situation where there are two choices and you're struggling. You've used that word a few times here. You're struggling to try to figure out which is the most. Well,
I find that I spend a lot of time and energy weighing the pros and cons and figuring out which one is the best choice for me. And I think if I just intuitively picked one, like you said, then I'd probably be fine.
But hear what you just said. It's very interesting. You said, I spend a lot of time weighing the pros and the cons. And the way we translate that today is, I spend a lot of time weighing the pros and the cons. I spend a lot of time weighing the downstream pros and the upstream cons. And then you say, when I intuitively choose, well, intuitive is always downstream.
Right.
And that's what we mean about focusing with feeling. Feel your way to your decision. Don't think your way to your decision. You'll make yourself crazy with all of the possible thoughts.
And I did for months.
But if you will try to find the feeling of it, it clears up really fast.
It's good to know.
So you want to take it into some specifics?
Well, I was trying to choose between, I was looking at going back to school. And actually I left a corporate job that wasn't making me very happy and decided that school was probably the best venue to go from there. But because I loved school when I was in it, and I really would like to go back, and that environment just kind of lends itself to that creative inspiration and those opportunities. And but I was trying to decide, do I want another bachelor's degree? Did I want to get an MFA? And what school to choose? And I found a couple, but I was having trouble deciding.
So the thought is get a job or go back to school. Those are the thoughts. And the feeling is school feels more free, job feels more binding.
Right.
And as long as you've got the feeling, in other words, unless you can figure out a way to stay in school forever, some have.
I have friends who've done that, you're right.
You may want to adjust your feeling, in other words, because we always tease our physical friends by saying, if you're leaving an environment because there's something about it that you don't like, then you got to get out of town too, because there's some of it there, and then out of this state and out of this nation and off of this planet, and then we don't quite know where to send you.
Well, it's funny you should mention that, because a tertiary choice was to relocate and just go into a whole new career or a whole new place. And that was appealing. When it was really frustrating trying to pick a school, that actually was more appealing. And that even convoluted things more for me. And finally I just said, no, I'm happy here and I really want to go back to school. And I just picked one.
Well, we just want to point out to you that being happy isn't about being in the perfect environment. And there's a tendency to say, well, I'm not happy here and I want to go someplace where I'm happy. But as long as the dominant vibration you've got going on is about what you're unhappy about here, now the path isn't lighting up for you about where the happy place is. And so it really is a case of not being able to get there from there.
Right.
And it really is about finally deciding that I'm going to find a way, some way, a lot of ways, and I'm going to practice it every day, of feeling better right where I am before I start moving. Because if you start moving in terms of moving in action from job to job or from job to school or from school to school or from town to town, before you have figured out that your happiness is an inside job, then you just are dissatisfied as you move from place to place. But if you have the ability to stay right where you are, wherever it might be right now, and find plenty of things that feel good because you get to be a better selective sifter. See, what the common thinking from our human friends is, well, I must be in a place, a pocket, where there's more to be unhappy about than there is to be happy about, because if there were more to be happy about, I'd be happier. So clearly I'm in the wrong place. And we say, no, you're not in the wrong place. You're just tuned wrong. You're tuned to what's wrong instead of to what's right. That's what's active in your vibration. So if you come to that inaccurate conclusion that this just is not a happy place, so you take yourself who is oriented there to another place, then you find that to not be a happy place either. Because whether you're in a small place or a big place, your orientation from your vibrational center is what's coming back to you.
Right.
We think that was a very good depiction, you see. Now, we don't think there's anything wrong with the decisions that you've made. And we want to say to all of you that you are where you are. In other words, you put your raft into the stream wherever you are, and that's the only choice you have. And so here you are. So where exactly are you now?
I'm in a pretty good place.
But where is the place? Where are you?
Emotionally?
The place. Where?
Atlanta.
And what are you doing there?
I'm freelancing and getting ready to go back to grad school.
So you are going to go to school in Atlanta?
Mm-hmm.
And you say that you feel pretty happy about that?
Yeah.
And so what's this question about?
I didn't want to go through that experience again of 6 months of trying to figure, when I came to another crossroads, I wanted to make that an easier process. And I think whenever I come to that point again, it will be an easier process.
Well, we like several of the things that you've said here. We think are really good buzzwords. We really like the word focus. And so leave here determined to focus your feeling rather than your thought. And we really like the word crossroads, but we never want you to use it again.
Okay. Okay.
Just kidding. But instead of crossroads, we really want you to realize that there's not a crossroad in the sense that there is a right path and a wrong path. It is a turning point in that I'm upstream or downstream. So rather than because the idea of crossroads makes it sound like there's this maze of roads out there, and I come to a crossroad and I need to make the right decision. And then I come to another crossroad and I need to make the right decision. And then I come to and it's not that way at all, because there are so many decisions that you could make that would take you right to where you want to be.
I think a dominant emotion was fear, that I was afraid that if I made this decision, I might not have the opportunity for that decision later. And of course, a really good friend of mine who kind of introduced me to you said, why can't you have both? And I was like, she's right.
And another thing that if you listen to her longer, she will tell you, is that feeling of fear is an upstream indicator.
And I realized that.
So it just means don't think that thought. But then you say, well, if I don't think that thought, what thoughts should I think? This is the crossroads I'm talking about. And we want you to just lighten up on all of this. This is where you began with this idea of focus. Focus is a wonderful thing, but it evokes from you an intensity of needing to control, which will bite you.
That's a theme I'm sensing.
Yes. Eternal theme. Well-being abounds, and you can't get it wrong, and you never get it done. And so it's time to have fun along the way. And how you can be so fresh and so young and so concerned about the right path is a credit to your inhibiting environment. So what you want to start feeling is, the world is before me and I have so much in me and I'm becoming so much and my path is so new and it is so uniquely my own. And this idea of crossroads makes it sound like someone clearly has walked this path before me and has surely left signposts along the way. And I don't want to be so incompetent that I miss the signposts. And we say, you've got a compass within you that will guide you on your new fresh path. There are no signs for you. It's all fresh and all new.
I'm feeling that, and it's very exciting.
And it's the creativity in that newness that is calling you. And that's what it was about that job that didn't feel good. They've got it all figured out, and they just want you to jump through the hoops that they've already laid out. And you want to create your own path, you see. Yes. And you won't find it in school. Next.
That was very mean. That was mean. You want to? Could you elaborate on that just a little bit?
We want you to realize that what was making you feel all bound up, that on the end of the emotional scale that feels wonderful, there's your perception of empowerment and freedom. And on the end that feels like fear is your perception of bondage. And so the thing that you're all bound up about is you're afraid that you won't make the right decision, but when you were in that work environment, you felt utterly not free. And so we just want you to be aware. We are not trying to guide you away from school. There's so much that you can extract from it and benefit from it, but you're really ready to get out there and create on your own. And this business of going back to school is just you putting off your willingness to get out there and make your own path, you see. And the reason that we offered you that, in your words, mean comment was the kindest thing anyone's ever said to you, if you really want to know.
You're probably right.
The reason that we offered that to you is because we're wanting you to realize that you are ready and that you're never going to be any readier, and that the thing that you most want is to express yourself freely. And what we were teasing about school is that it might be a little freer than work, but it's still not free for the same reasons. They think they've got it all figured out about the way everything works, and they don't even have a clue.
My friend, who I mentioned before, said
very wise friend, yes.
Very wise friend, yes. Said almost the exact same thing. So it's a common message I keep hearing, and probably should just pay more attention to. Stop ignoring it. Yeah. heard
because
that.
those are those crossroads you're talking about.
Okay.
And the message is saying, come this way. And you say, no, I'm going to school. Come this way. No, I'm going to school. Come this way. No, I'm going to school. Come this way.
Okay.
It's all right if you go to school.
It's okay if I don't, though. That's what you're saying. Thank you.
Good.